When the report came out yesterday night that Nottingham Forest are looking to sign Timothy Weah and Mbangula for 25 million combined, I couldn't believe it. I had to refresh my Twitter. I was like, this can't be true. Like, what do you guys make of it? What do you guys make of it? Like, for me, this deal doesn't make much sense, I'll be honest, financially and in terms of the players that are leaving. Now, don't get me wrong. Timothy Weah, I feel like he's been at Juventus for a while, okay? Has he really cemented himself in the team? No. Has he mastered a position? No. He's been a utility player, and I feel like he's done all right, but nothing special for Juventus to keep him around, for Juventus to keep pumping in their time and their energy and their resources into hoping and praying that he might become something. So Timothy Weah leaving, I don't really have much against it. I feel like he had a relatively good second half to the campaign last season, especially when he started to play as a right back. But even then, is he a right back by trade? No. The fact that he's not a right back by trade means he'll always be limited as this makeshift right back. And Juventus are better off getting themselves an actual right back, somebody like Alberto Costa, and we've now seen the difference. And Mbangula is now where I have an issue. I'll be honest with you guys. Anybody that's watched me since last season knows I'm a big fan of Mbangula. Whenever this kid starts, he gives me 150%. Whenever he comes off the bench, he gives 150%. He comes across like the true professional. He doesn't moan, he doesn't complain. If he comes on for 5 minutes, he will turn those 5 minutes into 50 minutes. And I'll be honest with you guys, Mbangula is not a player that I look at 20, 21 years old and tell myself, you might be limited. You might have already peaked. You might not have much more growth in your tank. Timothy Weah, I might look at him in that way, but Mbangula, I don't. But the one thing these two players both have in common, like for example, Timothy Weah, from what I've read, is close to reaching 50 US caps, 50 international caps. These are both players that have Champions League experience. And on top of everything, like the one thing which I feel like a lot of people don't mention, experience playing for a top team, in my opinion, is priceless. Especially last season when looking at some of the players that Juventus signed. I feel like whenever we speak about players, we say, okay, cool, they need to have experience in the league that they're being signed to play. And so they need to have Serie A experience. They need to have this. They need to have that. They need to have in-game experience. But what about experience for a top team? The standards, the expectations, the demands for a top team are far different than the standards, the expectations, the demands for a mid-table team or for a team that fights relegation every single campaign. These are two players that have the experience playing for a top team. Top teams, you go into every game, you must win. If you can't win, don't lose. And I'll be honest with you guys, Mbangula's the one that's really annoyed me the most. I'll be honest, like I've got nothing against Timothy Weah, but I don't mind seeing him go. But Mbangula is actually one player that I was even petitioning for. Tudor needs to play him more. Yes, he was injured, but I was like, listen, you need to find a way to integrate this kid, even if it's in the Club World Cup, even if it's next season. And I understand he's a little bit unfortunate because he practically plays in the same position which the star boy plays in, which Kenan Yildiz plays in. Okay, it's a bit unfortunate. But at the end of the day, football nowadays, like the congested fixture schedule, wow, that pronunciation was crazy. But you know what I mean, like the amount of games that they have to play footballers nowadays, from 38 games in the league, from, I don't know, maybe minimum 8 games in the Champions League, then you've got the Coppa Italia, the Supercoppa, then you've got Club World Cups, then you've got international breaks. Like Juventus can't be relying on Kenan Yildiz week in, week out, week in, week out. There will come a game where he has to sit on the bench, where he has to come off at halftime, where he has to come off after 60 minutes. I have always said, Mbangula for me is a good enough replacement. And I feel like this is something that I don't like. And I'm just saying this based off what I've seen online. So many people might just look at him and say, listen, this is a Serie C player. Okay? This is a Serie C player. That's where he stood out. Juventus next gen. He was very fortunate to get the opportunity last season because, in my opinion, Juventus went all out with Kenan Yildiz. Didn't really go out and get a replacement. So it's like he forced his way into the mix, especially the way he performed in pre-season. But at the end of the day, nobody could turn around and say he didn't grasp the opportunity. Like sometimes we turn around and say, listen, when the opportunity falls in your lap, grasp it with both hands. I'm of the opinion, this dude, whenever he was given an opportunity last season, he actually grasped it. Like it got to a period where I was like, start him more, play him more, Bring him off the bench more. And now I'm hearing it's 25 million combined. I don't know. Like, if somebody said to me, Mbangula alone, 20 million, I would have been like, 20 million straight profits. Why not? Go for it. But even then, I would have been hesitant. But 25 million alone? Like, in what world, in what league, in what transfer window does a club go to another club and sign 2 of their players for a combined fee of 25 million? Let's not forget, this is a Nottingham Forest team that, one, they have money. They have that Greek owner. I'm not too sure what his name is. This dude's got cash, okay? They have spent a ridiculous amount of money in the past 24 months. I think in January, they went and paid for this Benfica centre-half. His name is Mercato. This dude hadn't even cracked 30 appearances for Benfica. And they went and paid 12 million for his signature. And by the way, far older than the players that they're currently signing. They went and paid 45 million for Elliot Anderson. Now, fair enough, Elliot Anderson, there's a lot of hype around him in the Premier League. But when he was at Newcastle, he couldn't even sniff for the minutes. He couldn't even get 5-10 minutes off the bench. They went and paid 45 million for him. This club has money. Premier League clubs have money. Look, I don't really have anything against both of them going. Yes, and Mbangula, I actually think this kid is talented. I actually think this kid, under the right coach, in and around the right players, in and around experienced pros, under the correct training regime, this kid actually has weapons. As crazy as that may sound, this kid's actually got weapons in his arsenal. Like, he can beat his man. That's one thing I can comfortably tell you guys. He can beat his man. He can create opportunities. I feel like his positioning all over the pitch is very good. But the one thing I like about him the most, and I always ask this of every single player, can you give me the basics on a consistent basis? Can you? That's the most important thing in football. I feel like so many people always focus on the technical ability, the physical ability, how good can you control a ball, how well you can strike a ball. How good can you give me the consistent stuff, the simple stuff, on a consistent basis? I'm having a howler today. Can you give me the simple stuff, the daily essentials of playing the game of football on a consistent basis? And I feel like he gives it to Juventus. He presses, he maintains shape, he tracks back and helps the fullback. In the final third, he's got an eye for goal. In the final third, he's got an eye for a teammate to give and go. 25 million combined. I don't know. Maybe I'm making too much of a deal of it, but I'm seeing the prices that players across the world are being sold for. 25 million. For one, well, they're both wingers, shall we say. One which is versatile. Let's be real. Timothy Weah can play right back. He can play right wing back. He can play right wing. Okay? That's 3 positions occupying the whole right flank. And Mbangula can play on the left. And I'd be a liar if I told you guys I don't even think he can do a job on the right. They're both good. They're both physical. They're both technical. They're both of the right age. And they've both got good experience under their belt. 25 million? I don't know. Like, fair enough. Financially, on paper, it's a profit. And Mbangula is straight profits. Timothy Weah, straight profits. I believe he was signed for about 10, 11 million. So the fact that you now sell both of them combined for 25, it's a 15 million pound profit. But I don't know. I look at Mbangula in particular and say, this is good squad depth. This is very good squad depth. And I'll be honest with you guys, squad depth that hasn't had to cost you much, in my opinion, becomes 10 times better. Squad depth where you've had to go out and spend 50 million. Squad depth when you haven't had to spend much. It's good. It's good recruitment. It's good business. I don't know. I'd actually love to hear you guys' opinions in the comments. Now, if you're new, make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, and I will catch you guys on another one.